Hello friends, this video on mineral nutrition part 7 is brought to you by examfear.com. No more fear from exam. Next is iron. Let us now talk about iron. Iron is very important for its oxidation and reduction properties. So it makes use of those properties to be of help to the plant. It helps in chlorophyll synthesis. So basically it acts as a catalyst in the process of preparation of chlorophyll, and chlorophyll again is important for the process of photosynthesis. Though iron is a micronutrient, that is, it is needed in small quantities, but when compared to other micronutrients, it is needed in comparatively large amounts. I mean, not as much as macronutrients, but compared to other micronutrients, it is needed in larger amounts. So it is very essential for the young plant parts. That's because chlorophyll synthesis is significant for them. It is also a major constituent of some proteins like ferredoxin, and these proteins help in electron transfer in many metabolic reactions which take place inside a plant. Not only that, sometimes it also happens that when we talk about the source of iron, from where do we get it? Now it is absorbed as ferric iron, that is Fe3 plus, from the soil. Now sometimes it happens that the soil is very alkaline, that is, it is very basic in nature. In that case, iron is quite abundant in the soil, but it is not available to the plant. So we can say that iron is abundant but unavailable. So at that time, if an acid nutrient formula with iron chelate is applied, that solves the problem so that the iron becomes available to the plant. Deficiency of iron causes pale color of young leaves, so the color starts to fade. It is generally noticeable in young leaves. Now it is more seen in young leaves, that is because now some of the symptoms of some of the elements are seen in the younger parts, whereas for some other elements it is seen in the older parts first. That is because it depends on the mobility of that particular element. For example, if you talk about iron, now if iron is being transmitted from the older parts towards the younger parts, in that case it should be first noticeable in the older parts. But if it is being transmitted from younger parts towards the older parts, in that case it should be noticeable in the young leaves. So in case of iron, it is first noticeable in the young leaves. So in the young leaves it is first noticed, and then gradually it is transmitted to the older leaves. Manganese. This activates enzymes for process of photosynthesis and respiration. So you see, there are a few roles which are almost common to most of the nutrients, like activating enzymes or promoting growth. So these are some things which are common for most of the elements. It plays a very important role in the process of nitrogen metabolism. So when we talk about the nitrogen cycle, how nitrogen is converted into different forms in the atmosphere, we will see what is the role of manganese there. Source of manganese, it is absorbed as manganese ion, that is Mn2 plus, from the soil. Now if the soil is acidic, manganese is in excess. If the soil is alkaline, then manganese is not available. So the soil should neither be acidic nor alkaline, because if excess of manganese is absorbed by the plant, that is also toxic to the plant. So right amount of manganese should be absorbed. So for that it is very much required that the pH of the soil should be appropriate. It should neither be acidic nor alkaline. Deficiency of manganese will again cause pale color of the young leaves, and also there will be spots on leaves which are observed, something like this. So here you can see on the leaves, you can actually see some spots and all. Zinc. Again, it is a micronutrient needed in very small amount, not too much at all. It helps in carbohydrate metabolism and protein synthesis. So it also helps in the synthesis of auxin, which are growth regulators. So that is how they regulate the plant growth, because they synthesize auxins. Auxins are nothing but the plant hormones which is responsible for growth of the plant. and zinc help in preparing those oxygens. Source of zinc is absorbed as Zn2 plus ion from the soil. Deficiency would cause distorted leaf margins, retarded stem growth. So when I say distorted leaf margins, I mean, for example, this is a leaf before being deficient. Now later what happens, the margin of this, let us suppose this is a leaf, right? So the margins become distorted. So margins start to curl, they become folded, they are with some spots. So all those things are there on the leaf margins. Retarded stem growth is obviously affected. Next is copper. It participates in metabolism in plants, and it is mostly concentrated in roots. It is more concentrated in the roots. It also helps in utilization of proteins. Now for many of the elements, we saw that they help in the synthesis of proteins, that is, they help to produce proteins. Now how to utilize those proteins, that is taken care by copper. It is also important for reproductive growth. So it activates many enzymes involved in redox reaction, that is oxidation reduction reactions. It is also a component of several enzymes. For example, in the process of respiration, there is an enzyme which is used called cytochrome oxidase. So that cytochrome oxidase has copper. Similarly, during the process of photosynthesis, there is an enzyme which is used called plastocyanin. Even that has copper. Source of copper, it is absorbed as cupric ion from the soil. Deficiency of copper can cause brown spots on leaves. Brown is the characteristic color of copper, so on leaves you will have brown spots. Excess of copper can be toxic. So for most of the elements, if they are in excess, that is harmful for plants. Next is boron. Role of boron is cell membrane formation. It helps to form the cell membrane. So boron plays an important role in the formation of the cell membrane. It is an element which should be present throughout a plant's lifetime. That's because it participates in many different activities. It has multiple functions to perform. Even though it is not the sole owner of any function, it is not that if boron is not there, any of the function of the plant will stop. But it participates in so many different things. It also participates in cell division, which is a crucial function of a plant. It also participates in the formation of fruits and flowers, that is forming the reproductive structures. So that is also very, very crucial for a plant. So that means it participates in a lot of important functions. It helps in pollen germination. Source of boron, it is absorbed as boric ion in this form, or B4O7 2-. These are the two forms of iron in which form boron is absorbed from the soil. Borax is also another source of boron as well as organic matter. So what is borax? Borax is nothing but sodium borate. Borax is chemically sodium borate. So it is a kind of boric acid. So it is in the form of powder and it is a white colored powder. So it also contains boron. So that is also an important source of boron. Deficiency of boron can cause spots on roots and fruits. It can also result in curled leaves. Terminal birds are killed. That is because boron participates in cell division as well as pollen germination. So if there is no boron, there will be no cell division and also the terminal birds get killed. Terminal birds are those birds which are present at the tip of the stem. Next is molybdenum. Role of molybdenum would be major component of many enzymes. Examples of some of the enzymes are nitrogenase, nitrate reductase. So all these enzymes contain a lot of molybdenum, and these enzymes play important role in the nitrogen cycle. So these enzymes reduce nitrates to ammonia. We will see that when we talk about the nitrogen cycle. They participate in nitrogen metabolism, as I said just now. Source of molybdenum, it is absorbed as MoO2 from the soil. Deficiency of molybdenum can cause retarded plant growth. Photoprotein synthesis is blocked. incomplete seed formation, because these are the places where molybdenum was playing a role. So during its absence, all these aspects will get affected. Nitrogen deficiency may occur. Why nitrogen deficiency? That is because it plays an important role in nitrogen metabolism. As I said, the enzymes in which these ions are present, they help to convert nitrate into ammonia. So if this molybdenum is not there, that conversion will not happen. So the nitrogen cycle will not be able to complete. So nitrogen deficiency may occur. Pale curled leaves. Chlorine. It is a major component of many enzymes. It is involved in many processes like osmosis, and as a result of which it maintains the anion-cation balance in cell. The ionic balance for plants to take up the mineral elements as well as during photosynthesis. So they play important role. So in photosynthesis, what does chlorine do? It helps to split it helps to split water to release oxygen, because during the process of photosynthesis oxygen is sent out. So this oxygen is basically taken out from the water, and that is called water splitting reaction. So chlorine takes part in that water splitting reaction of photosynthesis. Source of chlorine: it is absorbed as chloride ion from the soil. Deficiency can cause yellowing of leaves or wilting, or excess of chlorine can also be toxic. So these were some of the important micro as well as macronutrients and their role, source and deficiency in plants. Now, based on whatever we have studied so far, what can you tell about the consequences due to deficiency of minerals? What will happen if a plant is short of minerals? So I'm talking about general, not only about one specific mineral. So based on whatever we have studied so far, we can see chlorosis can happen. What is chlorosis? We'll see that. Necrosis can happen, retarded plant growth, delayed flowering and fruiting, premature fall of leaves and buds, inhibition of cell division. So these are some of the common consequences that can happen to any plant due to deficiency of one or more minerals. So let us see what are each of these. What is chlorosis? That is nothing but loss of chlorophyll. So if a plant loses chlorophyll, what will happen? The green color of the leaf will go off, because leaves are green in color due to the presence of the pigment chlorophyll. So if chlorophyll is lost, green color is also lost. That is why you have seen in so many places I told that the color of the leaves will become more pale. That's because it will become less green, it will fade away. This will result in yellowing of leaves. Examples of minerals which causes chlorosis are sodium, potassium, magnesium, sulfur, iron, manganese, zinc, molybdenum. They all causes chlorosis. What is necrosis? It is death of a tissue of leaf. So if one tissue is dead, that needs to be replaced by some other tissue. So examples of minerals which causes necrosis is calcium, magnesium, copper and potassium. Retarded plant growth, it's like there are many elements which help with the plant growth. For example, nitrogen, phosphorus, sulfur. So if they are not there, plant growth will be reduced. Delayed flowering and fruiting. So many elements participate in formation of flowers and fruits like nitrogen, sulfur, molybdenum. So if they are not there, flowering and fruiting will be delayed. Premature fall of leaves and buds. So the leaves fall off before the desired time. So this happens due to deficiency of magnesium. Inhibition of cell division, that is cell division cannot occur. We just now saw so many elements which actually help in the process of cell division. Some of them help by forming the spindle fibers, which plays an important role during cell division. So examples of such elements are sodium, nitrogen, potassium, sulfur and molybdenum. So what we conclude is that deficiency of one element can cause multiple symptoms. For example, if there is less nitrogen, the plant will have retarded growth, that is one consequence. The leaves will also turn yellow in color, that is the second consequence. So that means deficiency of one element can cause multiple symptoms. Similarly, same symptoms can be caused by deficiency of multiple elements. For example, if you talk about any symptom, say retarded growth. Now, retarded growth can happen due to deficiency of nitrogen. Again, retarded growth can happen due to deficiency of phosphorus. So, the same symptom may be caused by deficiency of multiple elements. So, we actually need to analyze the various symptoms which can be studied in a plant and then check if those symptoms are caused by a particular element or a combination of elements. So that is very, very important to do. Only then you will get to know which plant is deficient in which mineral, and then you can find out a solution accordingly. Thank you. Please visit www.examfear.com to watch more videos, attempt free online test, get free study material, find tutors and mentors. Thank you once again.